Welcome to the Jones Zone, a podcast by Darryl and JJ Jones.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jones Zone. Today, we're going to talk to Stacy Clayton. I know Stacy for decades. She handles home warranties for Fidelity National Home Warranty Company. Hopefully, you folks know what a home warranty company is or what a home warranty is. And if not, even better, because she'll explain it to us. So, Stacy, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I appreciate it. So, you were just telling me you've been in the home warranty business for 30 years.
Yeah, long time. I've been with two companies, most recently Fidelity for 25 years.
And you started when you were around 3 years old.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good. So, okay, tell us, what is a home warranty?
So basically a warranty is something that usually the seller provides to the buyer during the escrow. It's negotiated. And it's a service contract. So basically, after escrow closes, the contract goes into effect. And depending on the time, there's a couple different options of the time length. It's a service contract on the home's major systems and appliances.
Let's delve into that. So air conditioning?
Yeah. So plumbing, heating, electric, air conditioning, pool equipment, kitchen appliances. You can add on, several different options. Roof, homes over 5,000 square feet. We can do like some more appliance upgrades for the higher end type appliances, things like that. Water softeners. So you can kind of cater it towards the property features.
Those are the add-ons. There's water softener, roof. So what's the basic coverage it handles? Go ahead.
So the basic policy would do your plumbing, heating, electrical. If it has air conditioning, you could get a plan with air conditioning, and then your basic kitchen appliances. Oven, stove, microwave, dishwasher. You would have to add extra options for like refrigerator or washer dryer. So the other ones are just part of any standard plan.
Okay. And then do you have one for solar? You guys, no, you don't really.
No, we don't cover solar. Solar is kind of very difficult, especially with roof type solar units like water heaters or pool equipment that runs off solar. It's very difficult to find qualified people. And so much of the time when they get solar, a warranty with the solar company.
Yeah, that makes sense. So just in case, just to clarify, so home warranty basically it came about because it warrants the home typically for the first year, and the seller normally provides it. There's no laws on this, but it normally provides it. And the thinking process behind home warranty is for buyers to give them peace of mind. It's kind of like a car warranty. If you buy a car, you get a 1-year warranty, you're going to feel a lot better about it. Same is true with a home warranty, just for those listeners that are not quite sure what it is. And they typically last for around a year. Yeah,
so we have a few options. There's a 12-month plan, a 13-month plan, and a 2-year plan. So back in 30 years ago, it was always 12 months.
Wait a minute, you have a 12-month plan and a 13-month plan?
13-month plan.
Okay, what's the thinking behind that?
Okay, so the 13-month plan is called a CRESS plan, and it ties in with Real Estate Office's E&O insurance. And so it's a little bit different. How they came up with 13 months, I don't know. The price is $30 higher and the buyer gets an extra month. Or you can order 2 years and it's discounted if you order 2 years up front.
Well, on that note, how much does a home warranty plan typically cost?
Typically, the standard plan, even like a condo, is as low as $360. But depending on the type of features and the size of the property, you could be a couple thousand.
Okay.
Like pool or, outdoor kitchen, things like that would obviously increase the cost. If the property has an ADU or a guest house, that could also increase apartments on the property. So it just depends on the features and the size.
That makes sense. And then do you guys come out and inspect the home in order to qualify it for a home warranty plan?
We do not come out and inspect the home. A home inspection that most buyers get when they purchase a property is not required, although it's highly suggested. And the reason is at a home inspection, you have a neutral third party going through the property, checking the systems and appliances. Usually if they tell the buyer there's something not working, it could become negotiated between the buyer and the seller of it being fixed beforehand. And so when the buyer moves in, everything has to be in good, safe, proper working order.
And it's just their word.
It's their word. However, if somebody calls in the day after they close escrow with a list of items, then we might question that. Home warranties are getting, we're getting privy to people moving in and wanting us to fix up the house that maybe the seller wasn't willing to make some repairs. So that's kind of what happens. If there's no inspection, it's kind of hard to say it was ever in good working order. It may have not been working before they closed escrow.
So is there ever been a need to where you referred to the home inspection report to show, hey, this was in working order a week ago?
Occasionally.
Okay.
Occasionally we do look at that, but what's kind of changed over the years is that warranties have realized that even if it works at the home inspection, they usually don't close for another couple weeks. And so things can break, malfunction in between the home inspection date and when escrow closes. So they may tell us, oh, yeah, it was working fine at the home inspection, but then it ended up failing, 3 days before escrow closed, which would make it pre-existing condition.
Now, on that note, you do have a certain coverage that covers the house either right when it's listed or once it opens escrow.
So, yeah.
Right?
So there is seller's coverage if the seller wants to put on coverage during the listing and escrow period. There are some limitations with that because we're not there to fix up the house to sell or to fix it up for the home inspection, but that is available to sellers. We also have direct-to-consumer policies that a homeowner can get for a year because they're going to put their property on the market and they want something just for peace of mind. I think that's the biggest reason behind home warranty is peace of mind.
Yeah, I agree. I have a good friend of mine actually that puts them on his rental property.
Yes. There are several people who do that. There are some issues with that. And when you have a landlord-tenant situation or Airbnb, VRBO, when you have that situation, most tenants want things fixed immediately. And so sometimes there can be some issues with home warranty. It may be there to save you money, but it doesn't always save time for the tenant. And so that could be a potential issue if you're not living in the property yourself.
So another thing, though, I think is really important to know is that when someone has a claim on a home warranty company, they need to call the home warranty company first. They can't call
Correct.
their own plumber to come out and then call a home warranty company. That's one of my biggest things. Well, not biggest things, but I have to tell my clients.
It's very common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think homeowners move in, they're escrow, they have papers everywhere. They forget that they have a home warranty. And suddenly the air conditioning stops working in the middle of summer. So they call out XYZ air conditioning company. They have the work done. And then they call their real estate agent and they say, hey, wait a minute. Didn't I have one of those home warranty plans? It's too late now. So they have to make a call to us and place a claim with us. And we dispatch it to contractors we contract with. You can't pick your own vendor. You have to go through us. And if you don't, there's no reimbursement. It's kind of like, I tell people, like an HMO and health insurance. You have certain contractors that you have to work with. It's not a PPO. You can't just go get your own and submit a bill.
Right. Now, how do you handle pre-existing conditions? I mean, that's got to be something that people will,
Yes.
So
home warranty in general covers unknown pre-existing. So if it wasn't found on a home inspection report, seller's not aware of it, buyer's not aware of it, agents aren't aware of it. It just happens through use after the homeowner's been using it, for some time. The most important thing is that when the buyer moves in, escrow closes beginning of the contract term, they're able to use the system, the appliance. If they move in and they can't turn gas on, maybe there was a termite done or something, they can't even turn the gas onto the property. Or they've not even been able to use dishwasher. As soon as they turn on the dishwasher, it immediately leaks. It has to work for them and then fail after the fact. So if they can use it even a couple times, use it once, and then it fails, then that's different. But if the first time they use it, it doesn't work for them, that it's not in good, proper, safe working order for them.
And it's just a trust factor a lot of times.
A lot of times it is. However, when we send a technician out, there's certain things that they look at for us. And again, the sooner homeowners call in a claim, it's red flag sometimes. If
closer to the close.
Exactly. Closer to the close. Sometimes they'll close. And then, like I said, they'll call a day after with the list and are you reading this from a home inspection report? And because maybe the seller wasn't willing to do repairs and the buyer thinks they can just call in all the stuff, which is considered pre-existing. And the technician's water stain, if they call us and say there's a leak and we go out there and there's mold or there's a water stain that they can tell have been there for some time and escrow closed 3 days ago, that's not technically unknown because is you can see mold. It doesn't happen right away.
No, that makes sense. It's funny. I'm going over all these things that you don't cover, but I have to say, you guys have been terrific, and especially you. But I mean,
Thank you.
So the home warranties are a great company, and they do a fantastic job. I haven't noticed anything. I don't recall ever having to say, "Hey, this should be covered. It wasn't covered," or anything like that. So you guys do a pretty fair job, in my opinion, for whatever.
The average claim is just over $300. So a lot of people forget they have it, and then we may offer them a renewal, and I have this warranty. So a lot of people forget. So if they forget, obviously, we're not spending money on that claim. However, there is a lot of money spent on home warranty claims.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Do a lot of customers do they renew it?
So the home warranty industry, they look at cost basis, what type of work has been done, and then they'll generate at their discretion a renewal. So they don't renew everybody. And it's not just, you had 4 claims, there's a system, there's a formula of why they would determine they don't want to renew a homeowner. So if the warranty company is going to renew the homeowner, they'll send them a notice. Here's your cost. It is higher during escrow. So yeah. So it's average $100 more than the first year price.
Okay.
And again, back to your question about you haven't had too many issues with, your clients. A lot of it has to do with having a rep on your side. So when there is something that's questionable, a gray area, or you need someone to look into a situation, that's why I have a job.
You know what? Check that, because my team has probably contacted you. I haven't contacted you, which is
yeah.
great.
Your team is amazing as far as getting the order done, ordering the proper coverage. If there's questions your buyer has, reminding them, most important, not to go get work done on their own.
Yeah, that was the biggest. I guess what I meant to say, I've had tremendous success with your company. It's been phenomenal. So now, is there deductible?
Yes. So anytime the homeowner places a claim, there's a deductible due at that time that is paid by credit card. And it ranges depending on what type of plan that they have. A direct-to-consumer plan that I spoke about is a little higher than an escrow plan. If they call in 3 plumbing issues, so say they call us for a leaky faucet, a leaky shower head, toilets not flushing, they call us and they mention those 3 issues that they're having. Even though there's 3 issues, they're all plumbing, 1 contractor, 1 service fee. But if they call us, I have a heater that's not working, I have a toilet not flushing, and I have an outlet that's not working. 3 separate trades. So electrician, plumber, and heating and air person, 3 separate service fees. So I always like to make homeowners aware, because they think if they're calling once and giving us all those, it's going to be 1 claim, but it's not.
And the deductibles are what, $80?
It's $90 for a resale. Like I explained to people, you don't want a plumber working on your electrical, and you don't want a plumber working on your AC or vice versa.
That would make sense.
You want the proper tradesperson looking at what their specialty is.
I had brain surgery once from a heating, nose, and air guy, and oh my goodness, I haven't been the same. Who chooses the home warranty company typically?
Typically, the buyer will get a couple options. Most agents give the buyer their recommendation. Here's who I use, but here's a couple choices, letting the buyer kind of make that decision for themselves with guidance from the realtor on experiences that they've had, coverage, things in general. And so usually in the offer, the buyer's agent will write in a specific company or options or pricing for the seller to approve, accept, counter back, that type of thing.
So what would be the process for a filing claim? You just call you, or you call an 800 number?
So there's an 800 number. And again, they would call, let us know what's going on, pay their deductible. We would dispatch it to a technician that we contract with. They can also set up an online portal, and they can place claims that way as well. So online or by phone.
You were talking earlier about if there's a tenant, sometimes it can be time consuming.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed you guys taking a lot of time, though. You're pretty
It
quick.
depends on the type of claim. Like we'll have, someone call and there's no water to the property. They don't have toilets they can use, or water is causing damage. Obviously, that's going to take priority over someone calling in, I have 1 burner out on my stovetop. Yeah. So appliances aren't necessarily, emergency, urgent type situations, because home warranty is not emergency service. That's one of the misconceptions, that you're going to call in and an hour later, there's going to be a plumber at your door. It's not emergency services. So if it's a water heater or something is causing damage, then we're going to put that in more of a priority grid to find sooner service.
On that note, do you work with insurance companies and other workers? Because you just mentioned a leak, and I'm imagining mold. And
perfect question. We are not homeowners insurance.
Right.
So a lot of people, that's another misconception, that they're calling us out and we're going to take care of the damage to the flooring or to the walls or carpet or whatever. And for example, water heater leaks causes major water damage everywhere. The damage will not be taken care of by home warranty. So they would call us for the water heater, the system appliance, but any secondary damage, they would contact their homeowner's insurance.
Do you have a most common thing that happens to houses?
Plumbing.
Plumbing is the majority. That's a large portion.
Plumbing
of your
is the largest. Yeah. Our claims, if you look at it's plumbing is number one, plumbing leaks and plumbing stoppages. So I don't know what it is. Homeowners move in. Within a week, their whole house is backed up. Their toilets aren't flushing and they're not happy.
So plumbing is a big.
Plumbing is a very big one. Yeah. Our average policy is it's called enhanced plan, and it's $665, single family. So that's the most popular plan. Obviously, if you have a pool or things like that, you would have to add extra options to it. But that's the average, most often ordered plan.
Subject to change, depending on year.
Exactly. Right. Prices always change.
Now, are there any limits on how many in a year? Do they have a limit on how many they can?
So there's not a number limit of claims, but there are options that have limitations. For example, encased leaks, slab leaks, those have a limit. Appliance, those have a limit. There's various things on home warranty plans that have an aggregate or limit during the policy period. So if they're using one of those, they've used up their aggregate. It's not that there's so many times that they can't call it in, but if they've used up their aggregate during the year, they can't call anymore on that particular item.
So theoretically, if they're all genuine claims, boy, you can have it can be really worth it.
Oh yeah. I get service reports on my agents' properties and what their clients, what we've spent. And, it could be $3,000 on one claim. If we collected $665 and we've spent $3,000, you can see why there's some exclusions and limitations.
Yeah, well,
it's not a free-for-all. Yeah, absolutely.
Got to make sense. So is there a waiting period for coverage starts?
It begins at the close of escrow on a real estate plan. If a homeowner gets their own plan, they're not going through escrow, consumer just wanting a plan, there is a waiting period with that.
How long?
30 days.
Okay, so they can call you today. Hey, I think I'm going to get this home warranty.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea. Okay, but you can't start for another 30 days.
Yeah, so when they call in to order that, we're going to let them know everything has to be working. They can't call us on day 31 with a list. We're getting smarter. So they have 30 days, and then the policy begins on the 31st day.
Yeah, how long have home warranty companies been in existence? Do you know?
The 70s? Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's the earliest I know of.
Are there any coverage exclusions or limitations that one should be aware of? I think you touched on a little bit before.
But absolutely. Secondary damage, like I talked about. A lot of times we go out on a property for a leak and the plumber fixes and repairs the leak, and then they go to leave and the homeowner is chasing them out the door. Wait a minute. What about my hardwood flooring that's warped and lifting? Why aren't you taking care of that? And then obviously we have to tell them you would need to contact your homeowner's insurance, or the mold that was left behind. There's heating and air claims. There's something called duct testing. So it's Title 24. It's like a HERS rating. And so if we replace heater or air conditioner, 9 times out of 10, majority of the times, there is testing that has to be done. The ducts have to be tested to make sure there's not a certain percentage of airflow escaping, energy efficient. So that type of duct testing, asbestos abatement, those type of things are something that a homeowner would have to pay for. Not covered, damage, physical abuse, abnormal wear and tear, pest damage. You'll see a condenser outside, and people ask me all the time, why is the side of the air conditioning condenser out there white? One side of it is white, and it kind of has a little bit of a a dome, weird shape. Do you have a pet? Do you have a dog? Is my question.
Oh.
Yeah, we have a dog. Is that area where the dog can access by the dog run? Or yeah. Well, they could be using as a fire hydrant.
I didn't even know dogs put out fires.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
On a HVAC? No. So when that happens, that's abnormal wear and tear. It's not normal for a dog. And people say, well, it's just a cosmetic. No. What urine does is it breaks down and it can actually ruin the coils. And so it causes them to go out faster. So if it's not normal for that to happen. So sometimes they'll get damaged, people doing weed whackers, and they damage the coils. So that type of physical damage, even if it's accidental, is not covered.
So what's the process of renewing? So if someone buys a house, they hit it, and they just, again, simple call.
Yeah. So basically, we would send them a notice, or they may call us because they know, they're within 30 days of when the policy is going to expire. We would usually send them a few notices, a couple months ahead. Here's your renewal offer. They could either just call in with a credit card, write a check, however they want to do that. Most people nowadays pay with a credit card, and I highly recommend that because if it's getting close to renewal, we know how the mail is, and they mail us a check and it doesn't get there before the expiration date, and then a few days after they have a problem and the policy's not active, then the policy wasn't effective. It's like letting your car insurance or health insurance lapse.
But if it lapses, so let's say that was to happen and they get it a month later, but a month later, it will go into effect.
Yes.
At least.
Yes.
There's just that period
There's
of time.
just that period of time that they let it lapse.
So are there any hidden fees or additional costs beyond the monthly premium?
There's a service fee, like we talked about. And then the items, abatement, testing, modifications. For example, a new water heater, new heater, air conditioner. When we replace that unit, the homeowner is going to have out-of-pocket costs other than the service fee. And that's also a misconception. I pay my service fee and I get a whole new air conditioning system.
Let's delve into that. So, because you have replaced a whole new central air system. So tell us what.
Well, there's certain components of the air conditioning that we would replace that the home warranty would cover, but then their homeowner will, in a sense, share in some costs. There are some costs that are not covered. The testing that we talked about, when we take the old system and then the new system, if there's a size issue with the coil, maybe the new coil these days, they are shaped differently. Maybe they're taller than the existing coil. So now there's like carpentry or construction work that has to be done in order to fit that. Or if it doesn't work size-wise on top of a heater, it could be a heater. So there are various things, water heaters to hook up new venting, things like that. Depending on the type of plan the agent orders for their client, I highly suggest comparing the options and, if possible, if there's enough money, getting one of the more expensive top-of-the-line plans, because with that plan, the homeowner will have some help towards those extra out-of-pocket costs.
How quickly typically can I guess you kind of touched a little bit about this, depending on what the problem is. Is that how that works?
Yes. So when we dispatch it out to one of our technicians, they usually call the homeowner within 24 to 48 hours, usually 24 hours, to schedule an appointment. And then again, the type of claim they have, the type of vendor it's going to could determine, but it's not immediate. Again, not immediate.
Yeah, it's not an emergency.
Not an emergency. So they may schedule an appointment for a few days later. Certain appliances, it could be 7 days later. During the summer, there is going to be more of a delay on air conditioning claim.
Do you give the homeowner the technicians to call, or do you guys have the technicians call the homeowner?
Yes. So we dispatch it to a technician. They call the homeowner, and then they schedule with them. But in a situation where the home is, uninhabitable, we work a little differently to try to get them service, or if we can't provide it in a timely manner, we may help them, let them use their own tech with some sort of worked out reimbursement, which is rare, but on occasions, home warranties, just to be able to get them some sort of service.
Right.
Because we've gotten hotel bills that homeowners expect us to reimburse for hotel bills, and, they don't reimburse for spoiled food, ruined clothes in a washer dryer, hotel things like that that are due to delays in parts, delays in reports from technicians. Home warranty companies are not responsible for those type of delays to pay for a hotel. Health and safety is priority. So if you are having one of those situations going on, say, the heat is extreme and you're not taking care of yourself, number one is take care of your health. Even if it means you might be paying for a claim or something on your own, fixing something, at the end of the day, you don't want to put your health in jeopardy.
Can a homeowner transfer the home warranty? Two things. One, let's say they got it 6 months ago. They decided to sell. They have 6 months left. Can they transfer it to the next buyer? And then question B, could they transfer it and take it to their new house?
So question A, yes, they can transfer it. If they have 6 months left on the contract, they can transfer the existing coverage and the rest of the policy period to the new buyer. Question B, no, that seller cannot take that policy and move it to a new house with them.
So if they have 6 months left and
they
they're
can't
leaving the
move
house,
it to their new house. No, it stays with the property.
Got it.
And then the other option that has become more popular is a resale proration. And the way that would work is if the buyer doesn't want only 6 months. So we take the credit that the seller has left. We take the type of plan that the buyer wants to order with their coverage that they've chosen. And then we do a proration through escrow. So the seller uses their credit through escrow towards the cost of the buyer's plan. So they're, in a sense, using their money that they've already put out. So they're not paying for the full amount of the buyer's new plan. And the buyer gets a year from close of escrow.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's the most popular.
Yeah. So they can prorate, so you don't have to pay for another year. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, Stacy, I tell you, this has been extremely helpful. I've been doing this forever, and you've taught me some new things today about home warranty, and I'm sure you've taught our audience some new things, explaining what home warranty is and how they can go about best using it. Now, if somebody did want to get a hold of you for home warranty, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
They can call our 800 number. It's 1-800-2COVER.
Oh.
So I'll break it down. It's 800-862-6837.
All right. And do they need to mention you? Or?
They can mention me, especially if they are not going through escrow and they're direct to consumer, so I can guide them on the type of plan, the waiting period, all of that stuff. If it's just a real estate transaction and they're just wanting, to place an order, they can reach out to me as well, but the fastest would be the 800 number.
800 number. All right. Well, everybody, I hope you found that useful and enjoyable. So also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It'll help push these videos out to more people and helping them out. And again, thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, Darryl.
Thanks for another episode of the Jones Zone. Signing off. Bye.